Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer and welcome to Best Kept Plans. Today we're doing a budget with me for the paycheck that I am receiving on February 3rd, 2022 using the printable version of the Budget by Paycheck Workbook from the Budget Mom. If you're interested in seeing that, please stick around. So because this is our first budget with me for the month of February 2022, I did want to start out in our monthly view. As usual, I've put this as a Monday start. I did put all of the dates in. I do have my paychecks written on the side here. It's not a 3 paycheck month, but I did put in the paycheck that I received on January 20th because it was being used to pay a bill for February. The paychecks that I'm receiving this month are on the 3rd and the 17th. And so any bill that's written in this magenta color is something that I'm going to pay with my bill, with my paycheck on the 3rd. And then anything in this darker teal color is what I'm going to be paying with my paycheck on the 17th. I do have a bunch of yellow on here, and all of the yellow is to indicate different savings challenges that I have. The Budget Mom does have her annual savings challenges that she puts out, and they usually include 2 savings challenges a month. One of them is a general savings challenge, and one of them is a challenge that you take out of your cash envelopes. And so on the 3rd and the 17th, I do have save $22 with a P, which means that with this paycheck, I'll be saving $22. And then it says save $109 with CE in parentheses, which means I'm going to be taking that out of one of my cash envelopes. Same thing is happening on the 17th. On Sundays, I have like these save 5, save 6, save 7, save 8. This is for the 52-week challenge that I'm doing. And then I did once again put a little monthly goal for myself. I did that in January and I figured I'd continue with it. And this month's goal is just to save. I want to save $2,500 this month towards my house savings. So that is my main goal. Moving forward to the paycheck budget tracker, I'm actually going to flip my page over and I am going to zoom you all in. So starting with the top here, I do always start in the income section. I talked, I believe, in my last budget with me about the fact that I'm still a little bit, I guess, nervous about what my income is going to be on a regular basis. I received a raise back in 2021, and for one reason or another, it seems like my paycheck is fluctuating a little bit every time I get paid. And so I think budgeting $3,030 is a safe way to go. I do think it'll be a little bit more than that, but probably not by much. And so that is what I budgeted this paycheck to be. Now you will see this here. It says mom repay $56 in the actual column. When I did put my budget together for this paycheck, I wasn't aware of this, but I ended up making an online purchase, and my mom threw a couple things in the cart, and so she's just paying me back for those items that I ordered. But I didn't place that order until after I did this budget, so that's why it reflected in my January expenses, but she just gave me the cash back today, which is February 1st. So that's why I'm reflecting it in here. I know this paycheck doesn't start until the 3rd, but I already did my January recap. Like, I went through and I finished like all of my January stuff. And so even though it's February 1st as I'm filming this, and I'm technically still in the pay period for my paycheck I received on January 20th, I already did all of the Where Did My Money Go worksheets. I have my final income total, so I don't want to mess any of that up. So I'm just plopping it in here with this paycheck. I hope that wasn't too confusing, but that was just me trying to explain why it's not in my budgeted column, it's in my actual column. So moving down to the bills section, the only bill I'm actually paying with this paycheck is my Spotify, which is due on the 7th. It is around $11. As you can see, I did include the 2022 savings challenge on here for $22. That is the challenge that I'm going to be taking out of my paycheck. So I wanted to include it here. I did make a purchase just earlier today. It was actually the first thing I did when I woke up this morning. And I put it on my Capital One just so I could get cash back. And so the purchase was for $40 even, but and so that's what I'm budgeting it to be, the payment to be, but I'm going to wait a few days before I actually pay it because, again, I'm going to get cash back. And so what I actually need to pay out of my bank account isn't going to be $40. It's going to be less than that. Now, I do have a couple of other things written on the side here, according to Allie and Create with Mandy. The reason why I have those written is because I did a no spend in January. I was fairly successful with the no spend. I did not buy a single planner related item, which I'm really, really happy about. But there are definitely some planner shops that I want to make purchases from. Two of them are, according to Allie and Create with Mandy. They actually both have releases coming out on February 4th. So if you're watching this on the 3rd and you like planning and you like stickers, definitely check out their releases. I actually have a code for Create with Mandy. It's Jennifer10 to save on your order. But I know I'm going to make purchases. I just don't know how much. So I just wanted to put them in here as a reminder to myself, and I'll talk more about why in a few minutes. But there's nothing written in the budgeted column, so that didn't factor into my budget per se. There are some other shops I do want to purchase from, but I'm just not going to be able to with this paycheck. So hoping that with the second paycheck in February, I can do that. My bills added together are equaling $73. And if I subtract that from the $3,030 I budgeted my income to be, I am left with $2,957, which is what I'm bringing down to the envelope section or variable expense section of the Paycheck Budget Tracker. These values and categories do not change for me. I did have a change going from 2021 to 2022, but with every paycheck in 2022, I don't anticipate these changing. So I do put $200 towards groceries, $75 towards eating out, $75 towards gas, and $150 towards miscellaneous. All of those added together do equal $500, and if I subtract the $500 from the $2,957 I was left with after paying my bills, I do have $2,457. That value is what I'm going to be bringing up to the sinking fund section of the Paycheck Budget Tracker. And similarly to my variable expenses, these categories and values don't change really. I am very excited because I do think this month I'm going to hit a couple of my goals, which is really cool. And we'll talk more about how I'm going to finagle that and maneuver around that once we get there. But for this paycheck, I'm going to be putting $50 to travel, $25 to Christmas, $15 to subscriptions, $20 to medical, $50 to car maintenance, $70 to car insurance and taxes, $20 to birthdays, $20 to holidays, and a newer category that popped up in my last budget with me, if you watched that, was my licenses. So I am a nurse practitioner, and every year on my birthday month, I do need to pay to renew my RN license and my APRN license. I apologize for the cut there. My phone went off. So I think we were talking about my licenses. So I started saving for this in my last budget for the paycheck I received on January 20th. And it's because I need to be able to pay for my RN and APRN licenses, which are due the month of March, my birthday month. So I am saving $80 a paycheck for that. And I'll be saving for it with this paycheck, the paycheck that I will be receiving on February 17th, and then I will have all the cash that I need. So all of my sinking funds saved, added together are $350. And if I subtract that from the $24.57 we were left with after paying my bills and my variable expenses, I have $2,107. Now, I don't have anything to contribute to the extra debt section. My only debt is my student loans, and I'm not currently paying on them. So everything after my sinking funds goes right down to the extra savings section of the Paycheck Budget Tracker. Now, this does look a little different than usual, and I actually think I talked about this in one of my last videos. I did have a question about the cushion that I have in my checking account and how I account for that, and I had mentioned that it really just sits in my checking account, and so I don't roll it over from paycheck to paycheck or month to month. It just sits there. The only time that I count it at all is in my Paycheck Budget Tracker if I'm allotting a certain amount of money from that paycheck to my cushion. And this paycheck is one of those paychecks. So at the end of my last pay period, my cushion was down to about $250. And so I like it to be closer to around $500, and I wanted to bump it up so that it was. So of this $2,107, I'm allotting $250 to go towards my cushion. And so it'll be included in my expense tracker under my income, because I always have a line item for my income, but I won't specifically write $250 of it as cushion. It'll just not end up being used, so it'll be sitting in there as my cushion. I hope that's not confusing. Certainly let me know if you have any questions about that. The reason I don't also write cushion is because then I would be counting that money twice in a sense, because it's already included in my income. So yeah, that's why I mark it off on here, but I don't have a specific line item in my expense tracker that says cushion. The rest of the money should be going to my house savings, which would be $1,857. But if you remember from the bill section, I am going to be making 2 purchases on the 4th, which are for According to Allie and Create with Mandy. So instead of contributing $1,857 to my house savings account on the 3rd when I get paid, I'm actually going to wait a day. I'm going to wait until the 4th. I'm going to make those 2 purchases, and I'm going to subtract the totals of those 2 purchases from the $1,857, and that will give me the amount that I can transfer into my savings account. Yes, I know I should be contributing everything that I can to my house savings, but I feel like I owe myself a little bit of spending, since I did really well, or pretty well, with my no spend in the month of January. So I am treating myself to those 2 purchases. So I don't exactly know how much I'll be contributing. I mean, I don't think I'll be spending more. I mean, who knows? I don't know, but I'm hoping not to spend more than like $100 between both purchases. And so if that's the case, it would be $1,757. But again, I'll be able to tell that after I make those purchases on the 4th. Switching the page over to the cash envelope breakdown, this page does not change a ton. It does not change a ton for me. I do start off with my variable expense categories, and for eating out and gas, they get $75 each, and I usually always keep that the same, a $50, a $20, and a $5. For miscellaneous, this one does change a bit, and the reason it changes is because that's usually where I pull the 2022 savings challenges from. It's also where I pull the 52-week challenge from. So for this paycheck, it's going to get a $100 bill, a 20, 2 10s, a 5, and 5 singles, and that will allow me to pull out $109 for the 2022 challenge, and then the cash that I need to pull out for my 52-week challenge. For my sinking funds, I always go with the largest denominations possible, and then in this paycheck, we are taking out $22 for the 2022 savings challenges, and so I'm doing that in a 20 and 2 singles. When I go to the bank on the 3rd, the day that I get paid, I will be pulling out $672, and that is what we will be stuffing when I do my cash envelope stuffing, which should be posting in a couple of days on Saturday. So that's it for this paycheck. I think it's maybe not as straightforward as some of my budget with me's are, just because of like this situation right here and how that's going to factor in or affect what I'm contributing to my house savings. But other than that, it's a pretty straightforward budget. I really only had one bill, which was definitely interesting. I'll have a lot more bills with my next paycheck, but I hope that you all enjoyed this budget with me. If you have any questions or comments, please do not hesitate to put them down below, especially given that I talked a bunch about my cushion and contributing to my cushion. If any of that is confusing to you in any way, like, do not hesitate to put a comment down below. And as always, everyone, please be safe. Bye-bye.